Hey YouTubers, Rick from Rick's RC and More. Got the grand hauler in front of me here. Going to start working with these rims. One thing I need to do actually is take that front wheel off. I don't think those tires are glued. I believe they were pretty tight going on. Anybody's followed my channel, you know I didn't actually build the grand hauler, so I bought it used. Oh, that's different. All right, so there's your hub. And then everything mounts together there. All right. Hopefully I didn't just do nothing but block the camera there. Let's take one front wheel off and just see what we're getting ourselves into here. I come upstairs into the little RC hobby corner or dungeon, you might even want to call it at times. It's a little dark down there. Now the bearings sit right in these rims. Yeah, the tires aren't glued, so that's good news for me. I can just hopefully pop them right onto these aluminum boys. Let's see how they fit. I might have to glue these. We'll see. We'll see how tight they are. I don't use the grand hauler a whole lot. I usually just monkey around the house with it, so if they're not glued, it's no big deal. I've never had any of them want to come off. There is no foams in these guys. The Tamiya tires, they're really hard. I believe RC 4-wheel drive sells some softer ones. I think Amazon also sells some. I haven't. I don't know what they're like, but might be worth the investment at one point. So I'm gonna put the bearings in and kind of get one on there, and we'll go from there. So this center cap, it threads off. So once you have this ring on there, you don't have to take all those off to get the your wheels on and off. It has an O-ring on there, which is good, which means once you tighten it, it's going to stay there in place. Just wanted to make sure the bearings are going to fit in here good. Yeah, bearings seem to fit in there nice. And I'm already dropping hardware. Seam that wet. Now I just noticed the hardware that came with it compared to this hardware that was on there is quite a bit longer. Let me see what we got for holes here. 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. So looks like they give you these short little guys are just there for shipping. And then they give you these longer ones for assembly, because there's 10 of these and there's 10 holes. So we'll continue away here. All right, so I got got one of the fronts on. These little guys are a little tricky to get tightened up, but yeah, definitely I would say a big improvement over the old plastic ones. You can assemble these off the truck. You can assemble everything and then throw the wheel on, because these caps will come on and off without having to take all this hardware out. And yeah, they definitely give you these little short guys are in there just for shipping, and then they give you the longer ones to run through. So I think I'll do both fronts, and then I'll move on to the rear, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so I got the fronts finished up. Now I'm going to be moving on to the back. Now the back, you are going to have to, I don't think that's threaded on. You probably are going to have to remove all these to get that center cap off to get your rims and tires on and off. Let's just take it apart before yes, definitely. You have to take all the hardware off. Now, I mean, with these trucks, you're generally not taking the wheels on and off a lot anyway. I double checked to make sure I had all the hardware required. The rear wheels take these shorter little guys, so the front rims that come assembled with these guys here, those will be extras for you, which is handy. So I'm gonna start assembling up some back ones here, and we're gonna see how it looks. So I'm just putting the rubber on the two separated rear rims here, and I'm not going to glue. And the reason I'm not going to glue is I might be new wheels down the road, new rubber. We'll see. I mean, if you do super glue these, it's not. If you yeah, see now the deal with these guys is you're going to be basically putting these on the axle, tightening the nut with everything lined up, and then putting the center cap on. So it might prove to be a little more difficult. Actually, these screws they give you they come pre-assembled with them, look more like the front wheels, the longer ones. Yeah, they are. So definitely some hardware swapping. The aluminum rims are a little bit heavier than the plastic, but not a whole lot. It's all right if you add a little weight to these trucks anyway. So I'm going to figure out the best way to mount these up, and then we'll see you in a bit. All right, so there's one in the back done, and yeah, you need to mount your rims on there and tighten in your little nylon locking nut, and just make sure that you could put one of these guys in on each side just to kind of line those screws up if you need to. I didn't do that. I just eyeballed it, and then you put this center cap on and tighten them all up. So there's the old Tamiya rims. Of course, no center cap cover, and they only have three Allen heads in there holding the split rims together, whereas these guys here have 6. A lot nicer looks. Get a little look at the front here. And the cool kind of thing about the front with that black piece in back there, it almost simulates the big drum brakes that are on these trucks. The back don't have that, but that's okay. Just a little bit more scale looking. So we're going to finish this up here, and maybe we'll take her for a little boot around the house. While I'm working away here, when you are doing these back guys, it is possible to line these holes up, and as you can see there, those rims aren't lining up. Need to rotate it one more set of holes, and then your spokes line up. Just little tips, in case you were to slap these together and then realize after the fact you'd be taking all this hardware back off again. So I was putting this together, and I got down to the last wheel, and it was kind of like the screws weren't long enough to reach the threads. And I noticed when I was doing these ones that it doesn't seem like there's much of it going into the threaded hole. So then I realized, well, I think all these longer fellas that I put in the front are actually supposed to go into the rear. So that's my fault. So the shorter, slightly larger diameter head hardware goes into the front rims. And the back rims, you can see I got the wrong ones on here. These are the correct ones. The head diameter is a little bit smaller on them, but they're a longer bolt, because these ones are just holding on. So now that I got everything mounted, I'm gonna have to unthread all these and switch that hardware up. Hopefully not everybody makes that mistake, because it's time consuming for sure. So now that I've the one side, I've got the right hardware in the right spots. If you do look into the back of your rim, you can see that hardware is just flush or coming out where the threaded holes are. That's the way it should be. If you go over to the rear wheels here, if you can see in there with the right hardware in there, you can see it's flush. Whereas the front, you can see where the hardware was sticking out pretty far. So I just gotta swap this rear with the rest of this front, and then I'm done. This is taking a lot longer than it should, because again, my fault. I just assumed the hardware, the longer hardware went with the front. Maybe I got the bags mixed up when I opened everything up. So definitely don't take that out on the Extra Speed company. There's part number if you were looking for it. That's the rear wheels. Yeah, let me find the front. And there's the front. And those are the matching rims, same type of spoke on them. You could probably, this outer ring here, you could probably get away with not using that if you wanted a little cleaner look. I contemplated it, but for now I'm going to put them on, because you could just literally take your hardware out, pop that off, put your hardware back on, and just have the smooth flush rim. So I don't know, something to contemplate. I'm going to finish swapping out this hardware correctly, and I'll see everybody when I'm done that.